Hi guys, it's Marijka, Milton Public Library, back with you today with some more books. This week we are still on newer books. First book I would like to bring you today is called The List of Things That Will Not Change, and this book is by Rebecca Stead. So, Bee's parents are getting a divorce, and many things in her life are going to be changing. But her parents give her this notebook that's filled with all of these things that will remain unchanged. That way, when Bee is stressed or anxious, she can go back to this book and look at all of the things that are permanent in her life, and it will help her to focus on the really important things instead of just the now. So this book dives into a lot of really deep events like divorce and the treatment of the LGBTQAI, plus people, step families, and counseling for families and children. But ultimately, this book is about how there's more than one way to make a family. So this book is A List of Things That Will Not Change, and it is by Rebecca Stead. The next book that I would like to bring you today is called Red, White, and Whole, and this is by Rajani LaRocca. This is a really beautiful novel that is in verse, and it is set in the early 1980s about a young teen whose parents immigrate from India. Reha navigates two worlds, an Indian one and an American one, and she really doesn't feel like she belongs in either of them. She doesn't quite fit, is how she feels. Then her mother is diagnosed with cancer, and her life changes again. So this is really a story about belonging and grief, but it's written in a really beautiful verse, and it just helps you feel the story much deeper. So this book is Red, White, and Whole, and it is by Rajani LaRocca. Another book that I have for you this week is called Thanks a Lot Universe, and this is by Chad Lucas. So Brian has always been a really anxious kid, but when him and his brother are placed into foster care, the anxiety gets even worse, and he starts having like really strong panic attacks. Then there's Ezra, who is a popular kid, and he gets along with pretty much everyone, but or he's always gotten along with everyone, but now all of the kids are changing as they get older, and Ezra really isn't sure what's happening, and he kind of feels out of place because he's not in the same like level. He's not on the same level that all of his friends are now. So Ezra starts to notice the changes in Brian and wants to reach out to him to make sure that he's okay, because they've always kind of played on the same sports teams. But he doesn't want his other friends to think by doing this that it means that he is gay. And he doesn't want people to think that, because in reality he thinks he is gay, and he is a bit embarrassed about that, and he doesn't want anyone to know. But when Brian and his brother run away, Ezra knows he has to do something to help. This book is your basic coming of age story, which are my favorite, but it has lots of real life issues added in that we normally don't see in middle grade books. So I just think that this is kind of brings a little breath of fresh air to a story that has been told before. So this book is Thanks a Lot Universe, and it is by Chad Lucas. The next book that I have for you is called The Mysterious Disappearance of Aiden S. as Told to His Brother. It's a very long title. This book is by David Levithan. So this book is about, or the start of this book is Aiden has disappeared. And he disappeared for 6 days. And it was 6 days of searching, 6 days of worrying, 6 days of not knowing, and constant visuals to try to find him and bring him home. Then all of a sudden he just reappears out of nowhere in a place where people have searched before. So it's a bit curious. So everyone wants to know where he's been. Like, where did he go? What happened? How come he just showed up in this place that they'd already looked? They want to know what happened to him, and they are demanding a story. The story he tells, though, is completely unbelievable, and the kids start to taunt him. As everyone is turning their backs to Aiden, his brother Lucas wants to support his brother. He wants to believe him, but his story is just so crazy. And everyone is telling Lucas that Aiden has to be lying, that he's just not sure what is the truth and what isn't the truth. So really, Lucas is unsure how he can be there for his brother and find out the truth. This is just a really great story about brothers and supporting each other. And yeah, so that book is called The Mysterious Disappearance of Aiden as Told to His Brother by David Levithan. Another book that I have for you is a really fun mystery called Mystery on Magnolia Circle. And this book is by Klise. I'm not sure. So who doesn't love a mystery? They're the best. It starts off and it is summer and Ivy has broken her leg, which is literally the worst time to break your leg because it's summer, and summer is about running and swimming and playing and jumping, and you can't do any of those things with a broken leg. So all she's allowed to do is sit around, which is terrible for the summer. It's a perfect winter thing. So one day while she's doing her sitting, she witnesses a crime, right? She did. Yep, she did. She totally did. She decides she must figure out what is going on. With the help of her best friend Teddy and her dog, they set out to find the truth. This is really a wonderful book about friendship and jumping to conclusions without gaining proper facts, which is a thing you should not do. So this is a great, fun little mystery, and it is called Mystery on Magnolia Circle by Klise. The last book that I have for you today is, I guess, a little bit heavier of a book. This book is called The Lost Things Club, and this is by J.S. Puller. So this book deals with PTSD. TJ has gone mute since surviving a school shooting. So when his cousin comes to visit, she notices that TJ is very reserved at home. But then when she starts to follow him, because he leaves every night, when she starts to follow him, she follows him and he goes to this laundromat, which is kind of weird. She soon figures out that he is there with new friends, and they have this thing that they call the Lost Things Club and the Land of Lost Things, and it's all of these things that they have found at the laundromat in the dryer. So they turn socks into puppets, and they use those little puppets to put on skits. His cousin Leia is really excited to see TJ in this element, which is completely different than he is at home, and just feels so wonderful that he's now being animated again. So this book just deals very nicely with trauma and the impact and the repercussions of it. So this book is called The Lost Things Club, and it is by J.S. Puller. So those are my book recommendations for this week. I hope a few, or at least one, looks interesting to you and you enjoy it, and I will see you again next week. Bye!